Hi, it's Dave again with DRH Acrylic Creations. Today is going to be the final part of a painting that I started way back in February. It was a cut pour that was just really too dark, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with it. I tried doing brush painting on it and doing a stencil, and it really just wasn't striking a bell with me. Well, about a month ago, I saw several videos of artists that were doing paintings in the style of Tanya Mundt. Tanya does these beautiful nature pictures on top of pours, and she uses a what basically looks like it's stained glass outlined in a glue gun technique. So I'm going to show you how I came up with what I'm doing and give you a step-by-step on how to do the same thing for yourself. Let's get down to it. Okay, the things you're going to need are going to be a glue gun with the micro tip, a glue sticks, I used gold with mine, silicone mats, a line drawing of something you want to paint, spray adhesive, and pipettes. What you see here is the painting I was talking about a minute ago. And I've decided to go with a sunflower motif. So here's my first silicone mat. It came with two, so I'm using both. Put the second one on top, and I've got my glue gun. Now this is a technique that takes a steady hand. And so without any exaggeration, I had a lot of work I had to do with this, and I cut a lot of my parts out that were herky-jerky, or I had pulled up away from the line. Now, generally speaking, you really want to keep the line continuous, and you don't want to really pull off the line unless you absolutely have to, because it's a hot glue gun, and there's going to be strings of that hot glue coming up with it. So which you have to contend with later. So it's best to get as smooth an action as you possibly can. It's a technique that takes tons and tons of practice, and I'm not even scratching the surface yet. But I'm going through my lines here, and I'm just outlining. I'm just getting the lines in place and trying to create my sunflowers on the silicone mat. Now, I used a gold glue with this. I think in the future, I'm going to get some clear glue to work with, because then I can choose the color of gold I'd like to see. And I'm going to talk more about that in just a few minutes. This takes quite a bit of time. I have sped up this video two times, and I've edited a lot of these pauses out of it. So at least this part here took some time to get through. So be patient with it. Be patient with yourself, because it's not at all easy. Maybe you have a steady hand and you'll be able to do it immediately. As far as the line drawing goes, I got that off the internet. I printed it off. I put it in the size I wanted to see on my canvas, and I actually started out with these line drawings were separate images. So I just put them all together in a configuration I wanted to see. If you have drawing skills, even better. But that's how I went about it. Like I said, this takes time. This portion, what you're seeing now, took, without exaggeration, probably 2.5 hours. It wasn't simple. It wasn't fast. It is a simple process. It just takes time to master. I'm actually very intrigued with this technique, and will be looking for other things I can work with. If you haven't seen Tanya Mundt's work, she does post her work on Facebook. I know I've seen it on the Sheely Art group, but she doesn't have a YouTube page, and I think she does Instagram. So you can find her there. You can see her work. It's just so classy. I just don't know how else to put it. It's just amazing work. I was able to get some smooth action happening with the long lines. I will continue to work on this one. Almost done with this first one, and when I get to the end of this, instead of going through all three of them, actually it'll be a fourth because I decided I need another one on the other side. I'll cut out and let you move to the next part of this. Okay, we're into step 4, and this is the removing the outline. It doesn't take long for this to cool to be able to do this. And the charm of the silicone mat is that it's easy to remove this with, this is just a palette knife. I just needed something flat to get underneath and get it loosened up. There are several people who do this, and in fact Tanya does it on glass sheets. And I can see the point of using the glass sheet because you get a flatter back on it. But I have had no problem having these things adhere to my paintings. So this is a lot safer for me. And I think in the long run, it's easier. Now I'll have a link down in the description of where I've got all my supplies here. But the glue gun and the mats I got off of Amazon, along with the glue sticks. But you can get them at any craft store, so they're available almost everywhere. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm moving it over to a piece of paper because I don't want to spray the back of it with the adhesive on on my silicone mat because I want to reuse it, of course. Okay, now I've sprayed it. I did that off camera, and I actually sprayed the canvas itself so it would stick very well because I knew that I was going to be resining this, so it doesn't make a difference that way. So I got it into place. It's just a matter of finding the place. I knew where I wanted it before I started, and now I'm seeing over on that one side that there's an awful lot of negative space there, and I wanted something on that side. So I decided to make another piece, and you'll see me spray this. There it goes. There's the spray, and we'll flip it over, and we'll put it in place. You see, it immediately adhered. So I didn't have any wiggle room with that. Where I put it is where it stayed. And you can see that's the final as far as the applique. So these are my colors. So I've got, I'll list those down in the description. My pour medium on this, it's not my normal pour medium. This is more of a traditional pouring medium because I wanted a thinner paint. And I'm just piping this into the spaces that are left, just like you would see with a stained glass window. So I'm filling it in with the pipette and getting coverage that way. This is actually where it's really fun. I enjoyed this part of it very much. I'm not a realist. I don't do representational art, but this has increased my interest in maybe moving in that direction. And the response I've gotten from friends and family has been pretty positive about these paintings. This is my third one. And you'll see the second one here in just a minute. This painting originally was 2 panels that I taped the back of and made it into 1 panel when I painted it. So when I took the 2 panels apart, my plan was to try to make them be a cohesive one painting, but it didn't work out that way. So, but they're both sunflowers, and you'll see that in just a few minutes. Okay, moving on to the green. I have 2 different shades of green here, and actually, in a few minutes, I'm going to add some Payne's gray to the darker green to make it even darker, so that I can put it in the center of the sunflowers. This was really it was fun. I paint for relaxation, and if it isn't fun, then it probably is something I shouldn't be doing. At least that's what I tell myself. I think at one point I had to add or mix up some more of the green because I was running out. And like I said, it takes time, but it's very enjoyable. I don't know how else to say it. It just is very satisfying. I had a little bit of a spill there. I went over and picked up a paper towel and sopped it up a little bit. So I'm mixing up a little bit more because I kind of ran out. Okay, and what I'm filling in here is the darker part. This is where after I added the Payne's gray to get my center going. It was really important when choosing my drawing that it wasn't too detailed, because detail in the first one I did was just so great that I wasn't able to work with it. So it's important to find a drawing that is open enough that you can actually fill the paint, the areas with the paint. So lesson learned. And I'm adding just a little more Payne's gray to darken it up even more. That's my pouring medium. And I'm just looking at consistency with that. It's approximately 3-to-1, but that's a real loose approximation. I'm more concerned about the consistency and how well it flows. The top one is the first one I did, and you can see it's the same canvas. So that is the complete 2 works. Thank you for being here today. If you'd like to help, leave a like, subscribe, and ring the bell. It's absolutely free, and it really does help. As always, I want to thank you very much for being here tonight, and I hope you have a good day. Bye now.